Our final presenter for today is Sofya Muhrer-Muromets from Tour Radar in Austria. Sofya will discuss measuring impact and how Tour Radar is committed to sustainability, aiming to have all active operators with sustainability initiatives by 2030. Sofya, welcome to the stage.
Hello, hello. So many empty chairs. It's such an important topic. So my name is Sofya. Today we'll be talking about assessing CO2 footprint of multi-day organized adventures on destinations. It's kind of a full circle of life for me, because last year when I transitioned to my new role of sustainability lead at Tour Radar, Green Destinations in Athens was actually my very first conference that I attended to. And this year I'm talking like 1 year later, look at me, what a development. But yeah, first about Tour Radar, who we are if you don't know yet. Tour Radar is an adventure booking platform, and we offer world's largest selection of multi-day organized adventures around the world. We have over 50,000 adventures from 160 countries, from more than 2,500 operators worldwide. And our vision is actually to connect all the travelers, because, and I mean each one of us is a traveler, to connect them with expert operators who create these amazing, memorable and sustainable organized adventures. And our mission is to democratize adventure travel, to remove barriers and actually have a positive impact on people and the places our travelers and we ourselves visit. And when we talk about organized adventures, and I really love to compare organized adventures to cruises or other adventure styles, that organized adventures, they actually, in average, they visit at least 3 locations within destination, so meaning that tourists, they don't stay in one location and destination, and it helps to distribute the tourists' money within destination to other places and to smaller businesses. But then it comes actually to sustainability. Our journey was a bumpy journey. It wasn't an organized adventure, it was an unorganized adventure. We actually struggled in the beginning how our role could look like, because we are not the one who are in the front line. We are not the operators who run the tours. We are not a destination who need to manage all of the travelers, the hotels, transportation and everything. So we were kind of thinking like how our role could look like. We signed the Glasgow Declaration on Climate Action Plan in 2021, same as Visit Finland and Helsinki did as well. And still we signed the declaration without any back thoughts. It still is the right thing to do. So everyone who still didn't sign the declaration, please go and do it. But still, like, how would our climate action plan look like? Last year at our annual event, Adventure Together, we sat down with climate leaders from our industry. We invited the Travel Corporation, Intrepid, Planetara as a representative of Community Tourism NGO. We invited Visit Finland, Lisa was there as well, Rachel Dodds, a professor from Toronto University, to represent academic, and ask them a question: how they see we can help to accelerate the transformation of our industry that we all need and seek for, and how do they see our role in it. And one of the most things that were said in this closed-door session was actually that our industry, and especially organized adventures sector in the tourism industry, misses indicators, benchmarks for how to run a tour, how to run a sustainable tour, what can be a CO2 benchmark for transportation or accommodation. So based on that, we created our climate action plan that we published almost 1 year ago. And our climate action plan intends to have all our active operators to have sustainability initiatives in place by 2030, and to support the tour operators, because we don't want just say, you go and you do the work and we want you to have sustainability initiatives, but actually we aim to develop the impact measurement tool that I will be presenting to you to simplify the carbon measurement for those operators in the multi-day organized and venture space. The impact measurement tool, the fun fact behind it, prior to our closed door session at our event, our CEO, he was approached by Edward Morris from the Equator Analytics, with whom we partnered up to develop this tool. And he kind of said to him that they have been secretly stealing data from our platform just to, like to work and train their tool that they're developing for destinations to manage their carbon footprint. And then they started thinking, how can we actually utilize both of the tools, that they get the access to the data from our platform and we can give it to the operators and destinations. And this is how impact measurement tool kind of became alive. The goal, of course, of the tool is to support the industry's goal to achieve net zero by 2050. And with this tool, we will be able to measure the CO2 footprint of each aspect of the itinerary of the tour. Meaning, Equator Analytics, with their tool, they get access to our adventure booking platform through API, and the operators, they're already filling out the information of the itinerary of the tool, and based on that, they can read each part of the itinerary and spill out the CO2 footprint of this tour. And of course, this tool, it can help operators decarbonize their tour and actually work on their adventures, and how Melanie mentioned before as well, to start to mitigate it. You can't mitigate something if you can't put a number on it. That's why it's important to measure their adventures. And it gives the opportunity to collaborate with destinations on solutions, because the tour operators, they dependent on the destinations management as well. And of course, it will promote sustainable options for our travelers. So the first pilot we ran on our impact measurement tool was on Iceland. We just picked this as a first destination to see how the tool would work with the data from our platform. The measurements of carbon emissions we did for all 269 tours that we have on our platform. And the calculations included transportation, accommodation, meal, and activities. In the end, we had the breakdown of the emissions for all operators for all tours, and we could say that in 2022, for example, the carbon footprint of all 1,786 tour radar travelers to Iceland was as big 118.5 tons of CO2. Which is around 118 round trips from New York to Keflavik airport, for example. And you can do math if you think that in 2022, Iceland received 1.7 million of visitors. This is why important for destinations just to know where they stand with the carbon measurement and with the carbon footprint of the visitors that come to their destinations. And when I talk about emissions and benchmarks based on the emissions calculated for the organized adventures on our platform, the median Iceland tour emits 68 kilograms per tourist per tour, and the median tour per day per tourist emits 10 kilograms. And this gives us 3 benchmarks for transportation, 33.7, and meals and accommodation. And it's always it's hard to visualize how much it is. If we are talking about it, for example, one tour per tourist, it's about 70 kilograms of CO2, meaning it's around 10 kilograms of bananas, for example, one box of bananas. This is how big is the CO2 footprint of a tour. I would not go through these two slides because we already mentioned a lot why measuring is important, why benchmarks are important, but still, and kind of to nudge the direction what Anna Palak was already talking about before, benchmarks and measuring CO2 actually encourage collaboration within the industry. And destinations management, they play a really crucial role in it, how they distribute and work with other stakeholders. As an example for benchmarks and measurements, you can see on this graph all of our adventures that we have, and the red dots and the green dots represent, like the green dots represent the tours that are more climate friendly, and the red dots, that's a more carbon intensive tours. And actually, it's about CO2 footprint per day and the tour lengths. And of course, our mission or the goal will be to nudge the operators to work with destinations to bring all of those red dots, of course, underneath the median, and that we can work together to work more climate-friendly tours. And only with the benchmarks for the operators that destinations provide, you can achieve something like this by working together. I have only 1 minute left. Yay! So how actual destinations come to the emissions calculations, because the tool will be available for the operators on the tour operator dashboard. It's our tour radar marketing solution team, because we actually work a lot with destinations as well, and we run campaigns for destinations. We promote the destinations, we give them global exposure to millions of visitors on our marketing channels. We promote the destination and adventures. And in this case, we drive the bookings, and then we promote the image of destination. But by doing the campaign, additionally to everything like a normal campaign reporting that we would usually do, is the number of bookings, total bed nights, top locations visited, average trip lengths, and the average order value across multiple operators. On top of that, we will give you a CO2 footprint and emissions calculations and the breakdown per transportation, accommodation, and the meals for all adventures booked in your destination, and data-based impact stories to support your sustainable travel messaging within your destination. And as example, as we did for our social media when we ran kind of highlighting Iceland as a destination. Those are impact stories that I'm talking about when we talk about how to combat over-tourism, or how to present it to the traveler, and communicate it in the marketing book between September and April, because it's the off-season, you will see much more less visitors. And yeah, in the end, organized adventures are the best way to foster understanding, celebrate diversity, promote sustainable practices. Everything what we talked about, it's all very interconnected, and it's kind of the bridge that connects us all with the travelers, destinations, tour operators, accommodations, hoteliers. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sofya.